Everybody, I had an interesting topic with a small group of photographers, and what we talked about basically is inspiration is a total waste of your time. Are we ready to talk about this? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, this is dedicated to photography and as a photo artist, trying to push ourselves out of the box creatively. Okay, this is a very controversial topic here, but it's something that was pounded into my head years ago, and I've been doing photography now. This is 2025. This is my 20th year, and basically, even in life, and that means inspiration on anything, any kind of topic, but we're here for photography and as a photo artist. Inspiration, again, is a total waste of your time unless you follow it up with action. And so many of us don't do that. We don't follow it up with action. So the experts say that when you get inspired, but you don't follow it up with action, you've really been entertained. Like you feel good in that, but you're back to normal life and you don't do nothing with it. So again, think about the times you've been inspired, but have you taken action? That's the big thing. Otherwise, if you don't take the action, again, the experts say you've just been entertained. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 3 different inspirations. 2 of them are mine, but I'm going to share one with you as one of the subscribers emailed me just a few weeks ago. I have permission to talk about him and the example. So let's dive into the program. Let's take a look at the first thing. And number 1 is this right here, this image. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know some of my work, and I was inspired by Norman Rockwell. I was watching all different kinds of documentaries, and so I was playing around with different ideas, and I came up with this sort of look. And I remember Joel Grimes, one of my major mentors for years, said, Steve, you're onto something that you really like to do. You need to do a minimum at least 100 of these, and you'll just refine it and get better and better and better at it. So that's what I did. And probably about at one time for a few years, 80% of my work was photographing children between the ages of say 4 years old, some are 5, but 4 to about 12 years old. So this is an example of one. This is another one right there. There's another one right there. Okay, so I'm applying my inspiration by watching those documentaries. I put it into action. Now, this example I'm going to share with you right here is a screen capture, and I want to talk about this person, David Yarrow. I got inspired by him to a degree that I've got one of his books. This is a heavy book. It's all black and white. I think there's like 3 images that are in color. So, but 90-some%, 95, 98% is all black and white. Awesome, incredible work. He's got, I think, a total maybe 3 books. Very well known internationally. Does very well. Is in galleries, and he just has a certain technique. And I got inspired by watching documentaries. I'll show you his website in a few minutes, but I would definitely take a look at his work. It's very contrasty, black and white. I'm going to zoom in on this polar bear. I think he was like, oops, I'm sorry about that. Let me go back. He was, I think about 4 feet away when he took this. He was bending over a boat, shooting into this. And you can't see this because this is a screen capture, but you can actually, when he, on one of his behind the scenes type thing, you could see him in the eye of the polar bear. That's how close he was. It was incredible. So anyhow, this is just so many images. And this is where I got inspired. I was watching the behind the scenes and how the shot was taken. This is not a composite. It is in Montana, somewhere outside of Billings, Montana. I forgot exactly where. But I love this group shot right here. If anybody recognizes Cindy Crawford, the model right there. But if you take a look at this is the wolf. And again, I don't have the staff to do things like this, but very inspired. And then again, the shot right here, I really, really like that. So because of this, I'm putting myself into action on this. And so a bar restaurant where I live just outside of Howell, Michigan, I showed this image to the manager over there, and she really liked the idea, but I have to get permission from the owner to be able to do this. So we'll see if this happens, and if it does, I'll show you the results of this. But anyhow, one of the things I'm not going to be able to do when I go in there is, number one, I'm going to be handcuffed. So number one, no tripod. I'm not going to be able to have any tripod or set up a light stand with a light, whatever. So I'm going to have to use a speed light, and I'm going to use a speed light with a modifier on it that I use when I'm sort of running and gunning when I used to do weddings and stuff. So it just sprays a soft light, and this will be on top of my camera because, again, I'm going to be handcuffed. The reason I can't have tripods and things in there is there's customers going in and out, and it creates a liability thing. And on top of that, I got 60 seconds to take the shot after I set up the people. Now, some might be customers at the bar that say, hey, I want to be in the shot, or it's just going to be the workers there. I'll have to play by ear when it happens, but hopefully I'll be able to do this. So I went up on a trip in the Thumb area that I go to once a year in Michigan at a vineyard, and I love the place. I love their wines. I always buy their wines and stuff, but I had my camera with me, but no flash, nothing. I did this really fast. And I took the photograph, and I showed them the sample, by the way. And these are guests. And they were leaving. This was two couples, one with their daughter. And I did this really fast. And so when I did this, I did a composite. And again, not bad. I was very proud of myself down here, how I put the reflection of the lion right there. But you can't see their faces too well there and there. That's on me. But again, I was just doing this super fast. And again, you make mistakes, right? You learn by making mistakes, I should say. And there are other things I would do in terms of dodging and burning. And of course, the lighting was terrible over there because of this back there. It's just sort of washed stuff out. I didn't care because this is not client work. This is for me, right? So the point is, I got inspired. Now I'm taking action on that inspiration. Otherwise, if I don't take the action, to me, it's just I was entertained, okay? So with that out of the way, let me show you something that was sent to me, email that really touched me. And this comes from, I got his permission, Mark Cam Mark's 70 years old, by the way. I guess if you're from Australia, at least I was told, you pronounce it Melbourne. You don't say Melbourne. If you say Melbourne, you're a tourist. At least that's what the Aussies tell me. So I don't know how true that is, but I always say Melbourne because that's what they told me. I was down in Australia a few years ago for about 3 weeks and had a blast down there. Anyhow, it says, hi, Stephen. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You could stop and freeze it and read this, but it says, you're so right about inspiration as you showed in your video on inspired fine art. It certainly sparked my creative interest. Here's the key thing. Your ideas were so good, I jumped right in. And those are the key words, jumped right in. He took action on this. He said, I learned a lot. You could read the rest in that. But down here, it says, doing this is my way of saying thanks, because without photographers/artists like you, I'd be getting nowhere very fast. I was very moved and touched when I saw this in the morning. It basically just brought me to tears. I got choked up a little bit. And I contacted him. He said, yes, it's fine to showcase this and use his name. And so I just want to showcase David Yarrow's website that you saw with the black and whites there. But also, I'm going to share with you his website. And it will be in the show notes that you could go see. In fact, let's do this real quick. I'm going to minimize that. This is David Yarrow's website. You can go to davidyarrow.photography, but I'll have the link in the show notes. You could take a look at the gallery and stuff and go through and do a search on YouTube. You'll find videos regarding him, some interviews and behind-the-scenes shoots. I might do a whole video dedicated to David's work right there. But if we go to Mark and his website right there, and this is his website right there. It's oapphotography.com. Again, the link will be in the show notes. Take a look at his works. This is what I get inspired on stuff like this, meaning that when I share what I learned, because I always try to emphasize to people, 90% what I share with you on my channel isn't by me. It's what I've learned over the last 20 years from my mentors. And I'm just sharing this information out to you. About 10% is my own, influence on things. But just seeing this guy take ideas, put it into action, just warms my heart. And, sometimes I get these little remarks from local photographers when I meet up for a drink or breakfast or lunch or whatever. And why are you doing a YouTube channel? Why, most people don't succeed. They fail at it. They give up. And I go, well, I'm not doing this to make a living. I just want to share my thoughts and ideas of what I've learned over the last 20 years with people. That's why I'm doing it. And then when I get response like this, it makes it all worth it. So that's the end of my little rant here. Just want to interject this. So again, thank you, Mark, for the email. And I'm glad you got inspired, but you followed it up with action, because otherwise being inspired without it just means you've been entertained. By the way, if you learned anything here today, if you can do me a favor, and that is like the video, subscribe if you have not subscribed, hit that notification bell. Next time I upload a video, you'll get notified on that. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get that camera out, shoot, make mistakes. Why? Because we learn from making the mistakes, like I did at the winery, right? I just dove in and I got to do something and then analyze what worked and didn't work so I can do better the next time. So again, let's think creatively, out of the box, literally out of the box. Until next time, see ya.